Hello, who's your fans, who's your haters, and everyone in between. This is the Crimson Coliseum podcast, and I'm sorry for the hiatus. Winter break going into everything has been absolutely stressful for me, and I have not really carved out time for this podcast. But with football recruiting being just about done, and basketball season just finishing up, and baseball and softball coming around, I'm going to be doing more episodes. So be on the lookout for that stuff. Hopefully, I get a theme song done to everything ready. But as we get to the second season of this podcast, and we got a lot of stuff happening this past week. IU women's basketball finally reached 20 wins on the season for the 10th straight year. They got beat by South Carolina, which I'm not shocked by, but they were competitive. I hope South Carolina wins the whole thing and destroys every other team in their path by more than us, because I've looked really good in the recruiting too. It's like, hey, we've been really competitive with South Carolina. Well, we need just a little bit of spark. But I could talk about that another day. Maybe tomorrow. I don't know. But IU men's basketball finally got their new head coach. And looking at just doing research, this is the earliest hire since the Bob Knight firing. Uh,
Wow,
Mike Mike
I did not know that.
Mike Davis was hired in September because I think because Bob Knight got fired like right before the season started. Um, Kelvin Sampson was like late August, not late August, late March, like last couple weeks of March. Tom Crean was also, I think, last couple weeks of March, like March 23rd, 24th, or something like that. I can't remember right now. I remember Archie Miller was April 1st, which, ugh. And then similar thing with Mike Woodson, where he was like in the March 20s. But being in the second week of March, it's really it was a quick hiring process to get a overview of what he's done. Coach Darian DeVries has done in his previous 10 years, from 2001 to 2018. He was an assistant at Creighton under McDermott's tenure there, and then in 2018 he got hired on to Drake. And he was there from 2018 to 2024. He had a 150 and 55 and a record with 79 and 33 in conference play, which for Drake is really, really good for them because as someone who is from the Missouri Valley Conference, my hometown is Evansville. UE, I went to a lot of UE games. Drake was not a very good program whenever I was growing up. Neither was UE, but we're also incredibly cursed. If you wanted like an episode where I just talk about UE and just how incredibly cursed they are, I love UE. But good Lord, we are cursed. Um, Once we got moved into Division One, it was a rough. It's been rough. Um, he was a one-time MVC regular season champion, a three-time MVC tournament champion. He's made three NCAA tournament appearances where he was 1-3. I believe he won a first four game, and he was a two-time MVC Coach of the Year in 2018-19 and 2020-2021. And then last year, he spent a year at West Virginia, going 19-13, 10-10 in conference play, and was the first team out in the NCAA tournament, which
Should have gotten in. 100% should have gotten in.
when every single other bracketologist had West Virginia in,
Yep. Yep.
it doesn't make sense.
That was
Granted,
shocking. I was watching it at the airport and I like 100% thought West Virginia was going to make it. I thought it was going to be
mhm,
us, like Indiana and West Virginia in and Texas and UNC out, which is what it should have been.
I think here's
Or maybe
what
Xavier out. I don't know. But like,
I think Xavier got in because they had to make an excuse for North Carolina to get in. Because Xavier and
hmm
North Carolina have extremely similar resumes, both
yeah.
having a lot of wins, 20 plus wins, but only one quad one win.
hmm
Granted, I could talk about what I felt about that whole thing. It's just it to me, you need to have one or two things with the selection committee, and this goes for basketball and football. Either you put 10 to 20 bracketologists on day of selection day. First of all, have all the tournaments end on Saturday. 10 to
Mm-hmm.
20 bracketologists, put them in a room in Indianapolis, NCAA office, lock the door, put away all computers and phones, put them away. Each bracketologist has paper notes. They go over them, they make the bracket, they get make the final bracket, they give it to the chairman of the board, the chairman. He gives it to CBS. They do it. CBS or
Mm-hmm.
ESPN for the women's basketball. Same thing. Or you just put it to the computers.
Mm-hmm.
You just
I
have
wouldn't be mad if it was a completely like AI computer process. I think
like
something like
BCS.
that, if they try, because I feel like everything they've talked about was like data point, quad one wins, strength of schedule, bad losses. Like they like it just like they have like all these factors that matter, and then it just seems like they throw them those factors aside and just put who they want to play in.
Yeah, it
And like
just
maybe we're saying this because we just got screwed. I don't know. My mom went to UNC, so obviously she was very happy that UNC got in. But so I had to hold my tongue a little bit this week. Um, but yeah, I think leaving it to the computers, like absolutely taking away all human judgment from this process, make it completely data-based would be a good way to go about it.
yeah, it just I don't think Indiana got screwed because of
I don't know.
the fact that we should have won two
Yeah.
or three other games, and
Yeah.
if we won the game at Purdue, if we beat Maryland,
Hmm.
if we
Hmm.
beat
Michigan.
Michigan, if we beat UCLA, if we would have won one of those games, we're in. It
Yeah.
just it is what it is. If we beat Oregon in one of the two times we had the chances to, we would have been in. It's just it is what it is.
Yeah.
I think we had the better. If you stack up our resumes with Texas and North Carolina, I think we had the better one. We had the best win, but it is what it is. Texas got laughed out of the building, and yeah. So going back to DeVries, he had a pretty interesting coaching staff. I don't know if all of them are going to follow him. I've seen one that is confirmed to follow him, which is massive, but a lot of them have connections to Indiana. Well, not a lot, but some of them do. The first one is Chester Frazier, and a lot of the old Indiana fans uh, would recognize him as the guy that chest bumped Eric Gordon. If you remember seeing whenever like the Illinois type stuff, Illinois videos we have Eric Gordon getting chest bumped by an Illinois player, like trying to fight, that's Chester Frazier. That's one of the big things with the Indiana Illinois rivalry. I put it in air quotes because our biggest rival is Purdue. Now, if the proposed Indiana Illinois state lines that I saw on the internet were to happen, that'd be stupid, which is absolutely dumb. It put Purdue in Illinois, which I don't understand it. Anyways,
Oh my gosh.
another one
Would
is
it
Tom
put would
Mosher.
it put Champagne in Indiana?
I don't think so. I think it puts Champaign in still it puts it's like all north like up north would be Illinois and south would be Indiana.
That's so stupid.
It's dumb. Anyways, back to the point.
Sorry, yeah,
Tom
go.
Ostrom, he is a former Indiana coach on the Indiana coaching staff. Um, but he followed DeVries. Well, he was on the Indiana coaching staff under Archie Miller. Um, but he's been a good recruiter. He's helping with recruiting and all that stuff. But he went to Drake after the 2021 season with DeVries and followed him to West Virginia. Then you got Corey Barnett, Nick Norton, who's the player development coach, Cavill Witter, and then Ryan Horn, who's the strength and conditioning coach. Now, Ryan Horn has been reported to be following DeVries to Indiana, which is absolutely massive. because that means Cliff Marshall is no longer the strength and conditioning coach in Indiana. And if you know me, you know I have a
Big
problem with
dubs.
I do not like Cliff Marshall as the strength and conditioning coach because he's a football strength and conditioning coach that's trying to be a basketball one. Super heavy lifts, super forcing to be built and strong, and it's just hurt their 3-point shooting. I think I saw in the 8 years that Cliff Marshall was strength conditioning coach, Indiana was in the bottom. It was like sub 300 ranks in both 3-point attempts and 3-point makes outside of 2023. Like, I don't
Like
know,
he's
man.
getting them. He's getting them all jacked up, and
Trying to get them
then
built for like trying to get them like built rough and tough and in the paint and it doesn't work like that
when they
anymore.
try to shoot threes, it just goes too strong because they're too strong to shoot threes.
Like, have you ever tried to lift weight? Have you ever tried taking shooting a basketball after lifting weights?
Oh, it's terrible.
It's
I hate
horrible.
it. I hate it. No.
But that's the coaching side of it. The players, though, I think is going to be really interesting. I think we can alternate on who talks on what. So I'll start first, and then you go, and then we just go back and forth on players.
Gotcha.
That sounds great. All right. First up is Tucker DeVries, obviously son of Darian. Only played 8 games last year due to a shoulder injury, but he should be. But it seems like he has a do not contact on his clause on his transfer deal. So I think, and he had an Indiana sweater. I think he's coming to Bloomington.
I
I will
think
be,
so.
I will
I
be
think
shocked.
so.
I will be very. It's like a 99.99% chance that he is coming to Indiana.
Well, he had an Indiana sweatshirt on in a photo.
And whatever on the in the press conference.
That'd be so
Now,
funny if he was like,
if
"Psych, I want to go to Purdue."
like I was just about to say that. It's like, nah, I want to go to Purdue.
That'd be
I,
really funny, actually. I
I
would
would,
hate that. I would cry, but that would
but
be really, really funny.
that would be very funny. Like I just like you got to respect it. You got to respect it for the
Yeah,
bit.
no, I would. I would.
But his
No, he's
career
coming
at
here
yeah, in
for
his career
sure.
averages 17.7 points, 5.6 rebounds, 2.5 assists on 43.5% from the field, 36.7 from three, 81.3% from the free throw line splits.
Dude has a range. Like his
Yeah.
range, he can shoot it from like anywhere crossing the half court line. Like, oh, that's gonna be so nice to have.
That Trey Galloway dagger gets Ohio State. That's just Tucker DeVries' normal range.
That's what he does normally
It's just what he
every
does.
game. Yeah.
Uh, and he's a two-time MVC Player of the Year. Like
hmm
I'm gonna, it's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be really
He, yeah, we only got a taste of what he can do like on the power conference level, but like just because he played only 8 games at West Virginia, and I don't think he played in like any conference games.
no.
But still, he was phenomenal. I think in the was it Battle for Atlantis? They were in the Battle for
Yeah,
Atlantis too.
yeah. He
Like he was
beat
really good in that. They beat Gonzaga,
yeah they beat Gonzaga. And
which Gonzaga ended up kind of being an air team, but
I thought they were gonna go far in the tournament because Gonzaga usually does well.
yeah, but they
But
lost to Houston.
yeah, they lost to Houston.
Yeah,
But DeVries' stats: 15 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Shooting splits were um 41, 47, 82.
hmm
47% from three is absolutely nuts.
he'll be our best player next year,
Yeah,
without a doubt.
he scored 26. He had 26, 4 rebounds, 6 assists against Arizona, a ranked Arizona
Yeah.
team. Like
Oh,
he went crazy.
I'm excited.
Mm,
I'm excited to see this dude play ball.
yeah.
It'll be fun. Should I
All
go
right.
on to some?
Yeah.
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 So the main guy I want to talk about is Jonathan Powell. I actually saw, so context, my dad went to West Virginia And so I and a lot of my aunt, uncle, went there, and so I went with my cousins to watch the WVU basketball game over winter break. So I kind of got to see like him firsthand, and it was when they played Arizona at home, and they
Hmm.
lost that game. But at that point, it was
Who
like
won that game?
their team was it was like in January,
Oh
but
yeah, so that was probably the one that.
yeah, it was they were yeah, they lost that game. But yeah, Jonathan Powell was like a guy that I think really stepped up in the absence of DeVries. Like I think he was like a free star. He was a freshman last year, a free star recruit, and he was like all he's already in the portal. I think he's a guy who could definitely follow DeVries to Indiana. Like he's from the Midwest. He's from Ohio. So Indiana would kind
University
of
of
also
Ohio.
be would also kind of be a little closer to home. He actually went to the same high school as Gabe Cupps.
Oh, that's interesting.
Very, yeah. So I don't know what effect that will have, but probably none at all. But
Probably not at all.
but
I don't think Gabe's coming
no,
coming
he's not
home.
coming back. No, for
No.
sure. But I think he's going to be a really interesting guy to have like maybe on the bench as well.
Hmm.
He and who are you saying? Amani Hansberry?
Uh,
Is that
I
his
think
name?
Armani Hansberry. I think
Yeah.
yeah, that was the one that we were talking about. Like guys from West Virginia that could come to
Yeah,
Indiana.
those I think it was those three, I think are the most likely. The three
Mm,
is Powell and then Hansberry.
yeah. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Like he wasn't a like he's a 6'6" guard. Started in place of him. Averaged about 8 points, 3 rebounds, and an assist per game. But getting 8 points from someone that could contribute off the bench is good to see, especially in college. So I'm not
Yeah.
gonna hate on him that much. Um, it'll be like I don't want to like do a full on like Signetti thing where we just get all of the West Virginia players.
Yeah,
Personally,
I don't think that's gonna
I
work
don't
because
think
like West
either.
Virginia was good, but their ceiling wasn't high enough. I don't think
Hmm.
even with a full roster.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be so. And one thing that's gonna be interesting to look at is the recruits, and I think
Mhm.
we can go one for each because we don't have much on it. But
Yeah.
three recruits have reopened their recruitment, and I feel like we probably are gonna get two of them. We have a good chance of getting
Mhm.
two of them. But it's kind of showing what like this kind of shows like what DeVries does in recruiting. So Kelvin Odie, Braden Hawthorne, and Trent McLean were the three guys that um, all transferred. They're all 4 stars from what I
Mhm.
saw. Kevin Odie was a 6'4" wing from the SoCal Academy. He was
Mhm.
number 9 in the state of California. Um, he, and like he did good in California. He got two guys from the SoCal Academy, and then and then a kid from West Virginia. If you want to talk about the kid from West Virginia.
Yeah. So Braden Hawthorne, he's a 6'8" forward from Huntington, so that's like Southern West Virginia. So number one recruit in the state of West Virginia. That's yeah, he's a really interesting guy to watch. Is he like the guy like you say like you might not get out of those three? Like we're probably the least likely to get
Yeah,
him, just
probably.
because he's an in-state kid.
Yeah,
So
like
once West Virginia gets their new guy, they're definitely gonna go
go
after
after it.
him, go
Yeah.
after him hard and be like, you still want to go here. Like
Hmm.
this is still West Virginia, this is still home. So like I have a hard time seeing him leave the state.
Yeah, but he is the highest rated recruit, I believe, out of those three.
Yeah.
Of the three. And then Trent McLean, he's a 6'9" forward and he's from the SoCal Academy. He's number 18 in the state of California.
Mhm.
And just any potential West Virginia transfers, just be on the lookout. Like it's any guys that hop into the portal, it's gonna be interesting. So is there like what is the guy that you really want that's not from West Virginia?
Not from West Virginia. I think, it's tough to say because I truly don't know like what Darian DeVries is going to go after. Like
Yeah,
I don't really know how he likes to build rosters. Like you can kind of tell for based on his West Virginia roster, but at the same time now it's just like a 1 year like patch up project, it
yeah,
seems. And like it could have turned into something bigger, but I true like I have no expectations going into this off season, going into this season because I think we have expectations. It's just gonna like
yeah.
affect the whole process. So if
Well,
I would like Josh Dix.
mhm,
I think he's a guy that would fit DeVries's model because he's a
mhm.
he's a guard who likes to shoot threes. Um, like you got his splits here. Like what's that? 51.4% free throw, not free throw, field goal
From the field.
percentage,
Yeah,
and then 41 from free, and then 79. Is that from the line from free
yeah, from
throws?
the free throw line.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, kind of fits that small ball shooting threes, which is kind of what I feel like DeVries kind of goes after.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing like expect point guard, three guys that are good, like are like wing style, maybe a shooting guard, but like wing style, and then a center.
I
Like,
think yeah, he likes to go, like, he's going to go heavy on guards, I
yeah,
feel, which is the opposite of what Woodson likes to do.
yeah. It just that's just from a and like he took an NBA mindset with it. I remember watching his press conference. He talked about 12 seconds or less, and I think there's an IU guy that probably has the best chance of staying that fits the bill, probably the best.
Hmm.
But a guy like Josh Dix, and then a guy like Connor Enright,
Hmm.
who played under DeVries at Drake, averaged 6 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists in his career, 42, 37, 67 shooting splits, but he has 1 year left of eligibility, same with Josh Dix.
Yeah.
But he's like that. He's just like the TJ McConnell, the
The
Hillary.
guy who gets under the Grayson
Yeah,
Allen,
the
like the
the
guy who just
the
makes you mad.
yeah, the Cole Cardano Hillary for all the IU women's basketball fans. Like the like just the like what like the guy's gonna get the inbound steal. The
Yep. He's just going to make the other team's fans just go berserk.
like well a Brad Davison, if I'm gonna be completely honest. I
Yeah.
know he's scum of the earth, but Wisconsin fans
Damn.
loved him for a reason.
Yeah.
On the court play, I think he's a decent person off the court. On the
Yeah.
court,
Well, yeah.
I've never heard someone yell "f you" to someone so loud at Assembly Hall until it was at directed towards Brad Davidson. Um, and we got a list of guys that I think have a potential to stay at IU. We're gonna see this week because players are now back from spring break. We're gonna see who goes in the portal and who doesn't. Grant Sicily is still committed. I'm gonna make probably my prediction. Jack, you can make your prediction on who thinks stays. I think it's gonna be Miles Rice stays, and uh, I don't know. I think Tucker, Bryson Tucker probably could stay. He might be a guy that DeVries likes, and probably the other guy with the best chance is Harlan Zerno,
Yeah.
just because I think it's the guy that like he's a good shooter from three, and I think DeVries can talk to him. It makes sense why he opened his recruitment because of the new head coach. I think he would be a valuable asset because he is.
Sisley like doubled down on his
Yes,
commitment
yeah,
after
he's
the DeVries hire. Like he like made another announcement saying like I am committed, 100% committed to IU. Like
Which I like
I,
seeing that.
which is great to see that he's committed to the school and not to Woodson. Which I think what is that how you say it?
Zerno, like
Zerno. Like he
like,
committed to IU when it was like pretty clear that Woodson was on his way out.
and I think he like his advisor. I think because I don't know if he's speaks perfect English. That he is committed to Indiana. He's going to talk with the new head coach and see where that leads. I think when they're opening up his recruitment, it's about 50-50 that he stays. I think he's going to talk with him. He's probably going to talk with Ohio State, Penn State. I think Ohio State, Maryland. I think it was the other school. Ohio State, and Maryland.
Yeah.
In the Big Ten, and then a couple other schools are interested in him. So
He would be a good get, but like not someone who I think would be crucial.
yeah.
Would be nice to have. He's got good size, could be good depth at forward, and he can shoot, which
Hmm.
is nice.
Yeah.
But we have Sicily for that, and we can. There's a bunch of guys in the portal we can get
Yeah,
to
that's for sure.
get that type of
Um,
archetype onto our team.
yeah.
I pretty much agree with everything that you just said. Like I think Rice is a good candidate to stay. I think Bryson Tucker's probably going to transfer. If I if
I
I
could see it. I could see it.
if I had the guess, I would say he would transfer. But I wouldn't be mad if he stayed.
Hmm.
Especially before he got injured, like he was just a beast from the mid range. Like, and that is someone who I think could definitely fit into like a more shooting type like team, which is what I think DeVries is going to want to build. Um, I have a special place in my heart for Malik Renew, as I think many IU fans do, and to see him hit the portal so early was just so heartbreaking. So
Shout out Noah
all
Carrico.
all I can say is we got Donovan McCulley back from the transfer portal last year with football. And obviously, we saw what happened with that. But, it's not too late. He
All I'll say
hasn't
about
committed
that,
anywhere else yet.
all I'll say about that is if we get him, it's going to be another McCullough situation. I like
It
Malik.
probably will be. It probably will be.
I like Malik. I do. I feel like he is in a really bad spot in the Big Ten, um, where he is not big enough to go against the bigs in the
But
Big
he's
Ten.
not. Yeah.
He's not fast enough to guard the fours.
hmm No, I
Like
could see that.
offensively,
And he fouls so much.
yeah, I think that's just because
Like
of
he really
lack of
needs
foot.
to go. Yeah, he needs to go to like the ACC or like one of like a
I th
smaller conference.
I think he's going to be in Florida. I think he's going back to
Okay.
Gainesville, or he's going to go to Tuscaloosa, or not Tuscaloosa, Tallahassee. Uh,
Tallahassee or
yeah,
or Miami, back down to
or
Miami.
yeah. I that's I think he's going to be because that's where he's from. I think he'll be better in a different conference. It's just it
Yeah,
sucks. It is what it is. Mackenzie
but
Bucko,
yeah,
I have to mention him. I doubt he stays. He's probably going to go to the league.
I. You think he's gonna go to the league?
I think so. He has he has the
Does he
tools.
have the draft stock?
I think if he has a he may not be a first round pick, but he has the ability to be a quality NBA player.
Yeah,
Either that or he goes to Duke, where he originally committed. I
yeah,
one of the two. One of the two.
yeah.
I think
He's going to the league or to the portal. He's not coming back.
yeah, I don't think he comes back. I'll be
Yeah,
shocked if he does, but
I don't
I
really
would
want him to come back. If I'm being so honest.
I wouldn't hate it because I still think he's a good 3-point shooter. I think he
Yeah,
got kind of ruined by the strength and conditioning.
yeah. I
Um,
I wouldn't hate it either, but it it would be a shock.
yeah, but to go back
He's
with Zerno this year, he's averaging 43% from three.
ugh.
Like,
Please come back.
He's at 50% from the field, 43% from three, 77% from the free throw line.
Please, please. No, that's like perfect.
Like,
Just be reasonable.
yeah, he's been much better from three than he has because he spent one, two. He spent 4 seasons in Europe, um, mainly in the Bosnian league. That's where he's been spending most of his time in Bosnia. But
Yeah,
43% from three against professionals is really good.
exceptional. Yeah, the Europe
Yeah.
like people who like those European kids like they start young. They're playing professionals as like 14, 15 years old. And we see how well like Europeans adjust to the NCAA. Like we saw of Illinois this year, they had that
Oh yeah,
stud
with
freshman.
uh KJ. What I can't remember. I
Yeah,
cannot.
his full name
Yeah, he's
is
like a
yeah.
top five pick in the draft.
Yeah. So if we could get Zerno, that would be pretty clutch. But again,
Here,
really don't know who we're
yeah,
gonna
I don't
get.
know.
Like
But here's
it's gonna be
the
fun. It's gonna be
yeah.
really fun to see. Like just have an off season with no expectations. No, like
You
okay,
you
well,
expect no expectation from Indiana fans?
no, no.
What
Well, there's
you
gonna be
expect?
expectations, but
You
like for me,
expect?
I'm saying personally, I'm saying no, 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 no.
Yeah. I
Like
get you.
that's
I get
not
you.
what
I
I'm
get you.
saying.
I get you. I get
Like
you.
just like
Okay.
we don't know what's gonna happen. There's
Yeah.
expectations, but
We don't know
like
what's
we
good.
don't know what we really don't know what's gonna
It's like
happen.
it's
That
the first year under Woodson. New
and
beginnings.
and and like we could be great, we could be crap. We don't know,
Yeah,
and
we don't know.
that's honestly kind of fun. I'm
Yeah.
excited,
So
but I kind of want to talk
here's the
about
big
those.
question.
Yeah,
Here's the big question before we go into the expectation stuff. Do
gotcha.
you do you think Luke Goody gets his waiver? Do you
I
think he will?
I don't know enough on the situation to comment on that.
He's trying the same thing that Xavier Johnson did last year. He's trying the same thing. We're trying to get his
Yeah.
medical hardship waiver. I don't think he will. I think they
If
will
if
deny
so
him.
so if X because X didn't get it.
He got it. He got one.
Oh, he did. Oh, he did get it.
Yeah, because of
Then why
he
wouldn't Goody get it? Because Goody missed less time.
I need to see because it would have to be whenever he was in because it's a games requirement.
Yeah.
Uh just how many games he can't be played in when he was at Illinois. Was there ever
Yeah.
his time? Okay. 2022-23 he only played 10 games.
Ooh. Okay. That could be.
Um
Because didn't DeVries get it for only playing 8 games this season?
he did, but it's I think it's a third of the amount of total games played.
Well, how many games did they play that season?
Illinois, I don't
'Typically, you play more than
normally you
30.
play 23 season, right? It's 22-23,
If
right?
we get him back, that'd be huge.
It would have been it was a sophomore season. They played 13 games. They played 33 games.
Oh, then
Um well, I need to check it. Medical
then that's then that's a
hardship
then that's a then
waiver.
that's less than a third.
So allows a student to regain a season of eligibility if they experienced a season-ending injury or illness that prevents them from competing for the remainder of the season.
Is that what happened with him?
I don't know. Let's check because
We'll check.
he averaged 13 minutes a game. Um,
We could do
that
more on this later. Like do
yeah,
more.
yeah.
Like I'm
I
sure
will
this
look
is
on
gonna
it.
be a
I will look on it while you talk about
yeah expectations and stuff.
yeah. Game
Yeah. So yeah, I think like I was saying earlier, I personally am trying to be as open minded as possible when it comes to Darian DeVries. I think the one thing that Indiana fans have got to get into their heads is that we are not what we were 30 years ago.
yes,
And
absolutely.
that's not like and the unfortunate thing is that as I don't think that's gonna get into people's heads. Like it's
It's
just we believe that we are a top program still, and we're not.
I like the thought of like, okay, Indiana is still a top program. I like the copium
Yeah, it's great. It's great when you
as
take it every preseason.
but as my one of my favorite um teachers and directors would once say, semicolon, however, comma.
This is what
I
we've had for the past 15 years.
I this is what I did the whole Six Squires thing because of this.
Yeah,
Since Kelvin Sampson got fired, this is a completely different program.
yep,
The program that was in the Bob Knight era died whenever
yep,
those sanctions hit. And we
yep,
had to restart from the beginning. We have been a
yep.
rebuilding program
It's
since
it's
for
it's
15
this
years.
reminds me of Penn State football when the Sandusky
Oh
sanctions
yeah.
hit. Like I just remember growing up because I that was like my big like a lot of my formative like growing up in Pennsylvania. You are a Penn State football fan, and when the sanctions hit, it just took all of the air out of the tires of that program. And they were just limping along under Bill O'Brien, under James Furman, until they got that Ohio State win. And then they kind of resurrected just all of a sudden. But just like where we've been at ever since those Kelvin Sampson sanctions, it's just it just reminds me of that a lot. And I think we just haven't quite gotten back to where we need to get yet.
And I will commend Mike Woodson for what he has done with
Mm-hmm.
this program. And I know people don't like Woodson. I know that going into this. I understand people don't like Woody for what he did this in this tenure. But to say that his tenure was a failure is completely incorrect.
Mm-hmm.
Because he is the first coach since Mike Davis to have 19 or more wins in 4 straight seasons. Well, actually, no. He is the first one since Bob Knight. Since Bob Knight. Not even Mike Davis, Bob Knight. To have 19 or more wins.
So he's been
And
the most consistent coach,
yes. And in my opinion,
despite
19
yeah.
and 19 wins is not mediocre. In my opinion. I don't know about you, but 19 wins is not mediocre.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
The thing I will say about Mike Woodson though is he was into recruiting big names.
yes, I think big names and they just didn't fit.
Big names, he went after names, he went after ratings, and he
Hmm.
didn't really think about how they'd fit together.
Yeah, I think
Like he got like a jigsaw puzzle filled with a bunch of big pieces that just didn't quite have the right shapes in order to make the picture that it was supposed to.
yes.
And
Um,
and that allowed for a lot of preseason expectation. That allowed for a lot of hype. Like I was
just didn't.
joyous this
Yeah,
time last year, or I don't know, 10 months ago, like with all the transfer portal stuff. And I was like, this year is gonna be the year. And we kind of got there, and it was like outside of the Tennessee preseason game, it was just clear that this team wasn't gonna click.
yeah.
And I think that's what's so key for DeVries to do is I don't care if we don't get any of the big names
Hmm.
from this offseason. It'd be nice to
It'd be.
like outside of Tucker DeVries. Like obviously we're gonna get Tucker DeVries.
Yeah,
That's
we're getting
that's
Tucker.
without a question.
That's obvious.
But
That's obvious.
but outside of him, I don't care if we don't get any of the big names because I think he DeVries is gonna be a guy. He knows what he's gonna go after. And I what I hope he does both now and in the future is he's got that Midwestern background.
Yes.
I hope we can kind of get back to mainly recruiting 3 4 stars from the Midwest
I think I like that
that are going
idea.
to stay here, that are going to stay
That
here for 3 to 4 years, and we can develop them into being good college players.
and I like that idea, but then again, semicolon, however, comma.
Yeah.
Shout out Dr. Galis. Great. Uh, and shout out Dr. Woodley too, because I think that's who she got it from. But then again, you need a headliner
Yeah.
as a very angry Pittsburgh fan would say, you need a Skywalker. You need a you need a box office guy.
No, yeah.
You like because the 3 and 4 stars are good talent wise, or like good with like depth and all that stuff. But you're
Yeah,
not
but a
gonna
4 star could become one of those guys. Like Braden, like I'm just thinking about Braden Smith.
yeah. But
Like that's who I just think about constantly. It was like
You mean Andrew Luck's distant cousin?
he was
You
like he was just a guy who wasn't heavily recruited in high school and like wanted to go here but didn't get like the playing time he wanted and went to Purdue and just broke out.
I mean,
Like I
and
think
that's one of the problems whenever Archie Miller brought in 3 point guards in 2020, Trey Galloway, Anthony Leo, and Christian Lander.
yeah,
Lander went a year early, never developed, went to Western Kentucky, and then Galloway got the starting position. Leo got stuck on the bench and never really broke out until this year.
yeah,
Like imagine if Leo had the opportunity, if it was just Galloway and Leo. Woodson never brings in Xavier Johnson. We just have those guys there. Like it's just
what if? What
it's
butterfly
just a bunch.
effect?
It's
What
just a matter
what
of
could
what if, honestly. But
yeah,
I think recruiting wise, I think we just need guys that fit, and that's how I feel about this DeVries hire in general. It fits.
it
It
does
fits
fit.
with what we need to do because like there's people that you may think we could have hired, like a Brad Stevens. He is never leaving Boston. He is never
Yeah.
leaving Boston for any job. Maybe Butler. Maybe
Going back to Butler.
because of unfinished business. You know?
Yeah,
I could see
maybe.
that. It maybe if he wins another championship in Boston, it's like, you know what? I got 2 NBA championships. I'm good. I'm gonna go back to college, go to Butler. Let's win
Build them
championships
build
here.
them into the Big East powerhouse that they need to be.
Yes. A good Butler program is good for everybody.
Yeah.
Hinkle Fieldhouse needs to be rocking. Anyways, a lot of guys like TJ Ottensberger, he's never leaving Ames. Like,
Yeah.
I think he's from Iowa too, if I remember correctly.
Bruce Pearl is never leaving Auburn.
Even though in my Evansville heart, I want Bruce Pearl to come to Indiana. Like
Yeah.
on in the West Side, we have a street named after him. Like,
Yeah. But
um,
that'd be cool.
and
But
that's where all the
again, not
sports and
happening.
that's where all the sports bars are too. Ironically enough,
That's funny.
but that'd be probably the only guy I'd want more. Like I didn't even know DeVries was available. Like I think,
I didn't
well,
either. I didn't even think he was an option because the fact that he just went to West Virginia.
hmm I mean,
Like I
I would have liked McCullum. He was a guy I liked a lot, but it was either going to be Indiana or Iowa who he was going for,
yeah.
and I feel like he was going to go to the Hawkeyes. That just feels like a good fit. I can ask Darren about it, but it feels like a good fit, personality wise, and
Yeah.
maybe he has another stare down with a ref. Really get that Fran McCaffrey full circle.
Yeah.
That just slow style of basketball just fits Iowa.
Yeah.
But TJ Ottenberger's never leaving. Scott Drew, I think Scott Drew Is Baylor a Baptist school? I know there's
Think
I
so.
think there's some sect of Christianity.
It's a religious school. Yeah.
I think Scott Drew is.
Baylor,
I don't want to be
Baylor,
like wrong on it, but
Christian, private Baptist. Yep.
yeah, Baptist. And I think Scott Drew is a Baptist himself. I think I remember seeing.
Yeah.
Um, but I think that he was never gonna that's just a perfect fit for him. I just I just don't see I don't like and then going into Will Wade, I liked Will Wade until I saw he has a show cause penalty until June 21st. So he can't recruit until June 21st.
Womp womp.
So North Carolina State, good luck. But yeah, just I think it was a really, really good hire. And to go back to the Luke Goody stuff, here's the concern. He played 10 games and it was the last 10 games of the season.
It,
So, I don't know.
that's
It's
uh,
concerning. I
that
don't
is
know.
concerning.
He has the games requirement. He
But
is,
just the timing of the games is the question.
yes, that is what's in question. We'll see soon. If he gets his
We'll
waiver,
find out.
if he gets his waiver, he's coming back to Indiana. He's gonna be a starter.
Yeah,
I think
100%.
he's a starting power forward. Like it just is what it is.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't get him, and we'll talk more about this once the tournament gets done and more transfers come out, I want to get someone like a Trace and Eaglestaff from North Dakota.
Mm-hmm. That'd be fun.
One, the name is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
One of the
Eagle
names,
staff.
Eaglestaff.
What a name. Can you just
What
imagine him being like a starting lineup in Assembly Hall?
Trace and Eaglestaff.
That'd be so cool.
We just have the student section get a bunch of staffs with eagle heads on them. Ah,
It's just raise him up, and that'd be so funny.
yeah,
No,
this
okay, so someone else in my kind of wish list, another Iowa guy, Owen Freeman, I
I don't
think would
know.
be a really, really
It'd
fun
be interesting.
addition. It'd be interesting, but again,
It'd be
I
hysterical
doubt it.
if we had Baco and Freeman on the same team. It'd be kind of
That would be
hysterical. That would be
because they
funny.
got that freshman of the year rivalry.
The co freshman of the year thing. That'd be kind of funny.
Yeah, yeah, which Freeman alluded to a lot after they
For
completely creamed us.
yeah, we were never a good fit to beat Iowa. Uh,
Womp womp.
yeah, it sucks. Ah, well, but probably once the tournament gets done, or maybe tomorrow. I don't know. I'll talk about what both men's basketball teams, women's basketball teams need to do. Just a little headline for the women's. They need a consistent shooter. Like they need a
Mm-hmm.
consistent offensive threat,
Yeah.
like what Mackenzie Holmes was, and like what Grace Berger was. If it's Yarden, if it's Lily, if it's that'd be great. If it's one of our own girls, but if we have to get someone from the transfer portal to do that job, be pretty all right with it too, because the defense is gonna be there. I think
Mm-hmm.
that we saw that today. The offense has to, because we lost a lot of games with lack of offense. We probably don't play South Carolina if we don't lose to Butler and Harvard.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Probably don't. We're probably a 7 seed.
Yeah,
And probably have to play Michigan. Probably have to play
for
Notre Dame.
sure.
That's probably what it would have been. We probably would have had to play Notre Dame, honestly.
Yeah. Which that would have been rough, but you know what? We
That'd have
could
been
have done it.
equally as rough, but would have been it would
Yeah.
have been a fun game.
Yeah.
Haley would have hated it, but
So real.
so real. All right. That's going to be it for today. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share on all platforms. And I'm going to ask you, how do you feel about the DeVries hire?